Hello and happy Thanksgiving week. This is going to be a different kind of message this week. And to be honest, if I had recorded this a few days earlier, it probably would have been a very different sounding episode. But, it's this time of year. The fact is that not everyone is happy about this time of the year, the holidays, especially after what we've been through over the last 1 or 2 years. There's so many people right now that I just want to acknowledge. I see you. I know there's so many that are hurting right now, that there will be empty chairs around the table, and it's hard, and it's hard for other people to understand who have not been through it before. So I just want to acknowledge that and let you know that I love you. I care about you. I'm praying for you. And, you don't have to pretend that everything is okay this time of year if it's not. And I think there's pretty much all of us have been affected by something over this last couple of years, right? So I think we're all kind of maybe feeling a little bit different this holiday. But if you're excited about this holiday, that's great too. But what I wanted to share today was about something that was happening in my life the week of this recording, and I don't know what to call it, but let me just story time. Okay, can I tell you a story? So if you've heard in some of my past episodes, I've had some gut issues I've been working on, and so I went to a functional practitioner, which I highly recommend you do, and had some tests done and was able to identify the problem and started working on the protocol. The protocol involves a bone broth fast for multiple days. I don't know how you feel about fasting. I'm not telling anybody to go out and fast at all, especially not without doctor's care and doing it properly, and definitely not doing it for weight loss. The purpose of the fast for me was to give my digestive system a break so I could start a new protocol to heal it. So I used to be totally afraid of fasting because of previous eating disorders, like being hungry was very scary to me. But I learned. And so I was a couple of days into my fast, and I was tired and I was trying to rest, and I was really having a hard time resting. I was struggling to rest, and I was just like felt antsy. I felt bored. I felt like the world was passing me by and I was going to miss out on something. And I just started spinning in my thoughts, things that, spinning in my thoughts about me and these things in my life that aren't working, and that I wish I could do this, but I need this other thing. And it was like this cyclical spiral that I was in. And I was just like off and on weeping the whole nine. Okay. I was a mess. Props out to my friends and to my husband who listened to me, because I don't know what was wrong with me. I was a hot mess. And after about a half a day of this, I said to myself, like, okay, maybe you should just go take a nap, go meditate and take a nap. And so that's what I did. And I pulled up this YouTube meditation that my therapist recommended to me. It's called RAIN, RAIN, by Tara Brach. BRACH. And RAIN stands for four things. It's first, it's um, recognize, allow, investigate, and then N is for need. What do I need? And so I got myself relaxed, all that, and I start, going through this guided meditation. It's free. You can look it up on YouTube. And I'm like just letting the words flow. Like, what do I recognize right now? What am I feeling right now? And the word that came up for me was helpless. I was feeling helpless. I felt like I was in this place and I was just stuck. And the tears started to flow. And as I listened to Tara, she says, just allow it to be there and start investigating. What is this about? Start digging deeper, and what do you need in this situation? How can you express self compassion for yourself right now? And I didn't finish it because I fell asleep for a few minutes. But when I woke up, I just said to myself, you know what? You have to do something, like just do anything. Go outside, go outside and rake some leaves. And so that's what I did. I went outside, I'm raking leaves, or actually leaf blowing, which by the way, leaf blowing can be very relaxing. Maybe it's like vacuuming. I don't know, but it's like all that white noise, and then you can kind of listen to your own thoughts, and plus nobody else is talking to you because it's so loud. Right? So I'm out there blowing leaves and kind of thinking about complaining about things. And loud as can be in my head, I heard, "Stop thinking about yourself so much." I was like, whoa. Of course, I know that. I teach people that when you're feeling depressed or you're feeling down or stuck or whatever, the best thing you can do is focus on other people, helping other people, right? Of course, we know that in our head. A lot of times we get in this spot where we forget. And so when that hit me, I was like, wow, here I am focusing about all these other things. And I need to be focusing on, for example, in my business, I need to be focusing on those women who need me. I need to be focusing on how can I serve them? How can I help them? Right. And so as I was stayed and got out in the sun and was, doing movement, physical things, I started to feel my mood lift, just this whole epiphany of like, start thinking about others. And so went out front. My husband and I, we have a beautiful persimmon tree, and this year it was very bountiful. And so we picked like 20 pounds worth in about a half an hour. We have so many, we didn't even know what to do with it. And I said, I'm going to take this to my chiropractor's office tomorrow. And then the next day, I go into work and I run into an old friend who I'd given some persimmons the week before. And he's like, "Hey, you got any more of those? Like, my wife really loved them." And I was like, "Sure. Like, come out to my car. I've got like 20 pounds. Take as many as you want." And he was so excited. And I felt so good just giving him persimmons out of the back of my car. I mean, it's something silly, right? But it felt so good that I could do something very simple like that. And it made him and his wife so happy. And then later, a coworker asked me what I was doing for Thanksgiving, and I was kind of like, I don't know. It's just dinner because my youngest is not here, going to be here, and like it's just us, and it's just dinner, and like whatever, And he said, "Well, my friend and I were going to go to Cracker Barrel because we're both." No one should be alone on Thanksgiving. And, anybody who has nowhere to go is welcome to come. And instantly my heart leapt. Like instantly, I knew I wanted them to come over to our house for dinner. But I waited. I wanted to make sure and clear it with my husband, of course. So I came home and because my husband and I both were saying how this time of year for us has not been good for several years. It really started from like, I don't know, 5 years ago or so since our kids got married. Honestly, it's tough when you have to deal with, I hate to say this, but we have to deal with the in-laws and, they want to go to their parents' house and your kids want to be with you and you don't want to be the one that causes them to argue and you say, "Oh, just come when you can come." And guess what? We're like last on the list. And it's just like, it was just such a hassle to get anyone to make plans. I started not even looking forward to the holidays. I was like, honestly, just go with the in-laws and have fun. Don't worry about us. Then we don't have to be stressed out, right? So we've both been saying like, I don't really feel anything about the holidays anymore. It's just kind of blah. So when I started telling my husband the story of these two friends that had nowhere to go for Thanksgiving, he's like, "Did you invite them over?" And I said, "Well, I was wanting." He's like, "Are you kidding me? Like, invite them over." And so I did, and they accepted. And I can't believe how much my spirits were lifted. I've never actually done anything like that. Maybe you have. Maybe I'm the last person on the planet who has not done that. But we have a small family, and when it's just the same thing every year, all our family is that can come is here, right? Like there's nothing new about the holidays for us, you know what I mean? Like some families, you have people flying in, you have whatever. As your family's growing, it gets, ours hasn't been like that. It's been pretty stagnant for many years. So this was just like, oh my gosh, now I'm going to start. Oh, I'm going to get my grandma's china out. And like, I can, I'm asking them, what are your favorite side dishes? And it completely lifted my spirits. And you know what? I feel like this is going to be something that I want to continue doing, like inviting people who have nowhere to go for Thanksgiving over to our house. I mean, I know we all talk about that, but how many of us actually do that? I know there's some, but I'm just being honest, I was not one of them. So all that is to say, people talk about Thanksgiving and giving thanks, having gratitude, and being with family and being loving and all that kind of stuff. And I just want to summarize that by saying that, like, just acknowledge that not everyone is having an easy time this holiday season. And there may be some people who are alone this holiday season for the first time, or there's people who are having their first Thanksgiving or their first Christmas this year without a loved one at their gathering. And so just be on the lookout for that. And if that's you, if you're that one that's feeling alone, reach out to someone. You never know what's going to come of it, right? Or you can go volunteer or do something, get around people and start focusing outwardly instead of inwardly. We need to look inward to heal and all of that. Of course, I'm not saying ignore your feelings, but when we look outside of our circumstances and we look for ways that we can be a blessing to others, it helps us to realize how blessed we really are. So that's it for this week's episode. I hope you have an amazing Thanksgiving. I hope that you laugh and that you enjoy the company that you're with. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Until then, keep your light shining bright. Peace out.